It's time to de-winterize!
So the first thing that we're going to do is work on taking the cover off of our RV. We live in Southern Oregon, so we usually winterize our RV around November, December, and then this is April timeline that we're taking it out. And we store ours at a facility, and so it's really helpful to have a cover for our RV. We had to spend a little bit extra. Our RV didn't come with it, but it's definitely helpful in preserving the coating of everything. And so I'm really glad that we have one, and especially because we store it outside, this definitely helps prevent with wear and tear. After removing our wheel covers and our main cover, we just like to do a general evaluation and just kind of walk around the RV to see how things are going. Dylan just checked for tire pressure to make sure those looked good, and they did. We're continuing just to go around and just kind of make sure there aren't any noticeable dings or things that weren't there when we saw it last. Again, looking on the other side. We're also going to check the tire pressure on this side to make sure that looks good, and it does. Ours has a little tire pressure gauge, so we're also able to check that. So just, kind of pressing in, checking things out, making sure it all looks good, and it did. Now it's time to go in and check things out in there. The reason that we de-winterize separately from going on an actual trip is nothing is worse than feeling the pressure to want to leave town and get out, but then having weird things that sometimes come up after your RV has been winterized for a while. So we like to do this separately and just make sure that we have the time to check everything out, because we just want it to be in tip-top shape before taking it out for the first camping adventure of the season. So we're going to check the battery. We have the battery stored in our garage when we're not using the camper, but this is the box. And this is a prime example why we want to de-winterize separate from the actual day of camping, because you find stuff like this that comes up. So we realized that the box where the battery normally goes, and that's where we store our wires for the batteries, was filled with rainwater. So fun. And so here Dylan is, he's just dumping it out. He was a little annoyed about that. There must have been a hole, or just somehow water got in, which we don't want that to be the case when it's where the battery and wires will be stored. So he's just dumping that out. Then he went to thoroughly dry all of the wires, the box, make sure that we were being safe. This is a prime example reason why I have many, many towels inside of the camper that just live there, because again, there's always just use for them. We use towels all the time, and so having them just stored in the camper is super, super helpful. After everything was thoroughly dried, Dylan put our battery in, and he's just explaining that there's negative and positive, and that the red wire is positive. So if you're ever unsure about any of this, always look it up, because this is something you don't want to mess up. It can be dangerous, and so you just want to make sure you're doing everything properly. So he's just putting the red on the positive side and making sure that he's able to spin that one down. And then he's moving to the negative side with the black wire and making sure that he pins that down as well. He's also using a wrench just to reinforce and make sure everything is tightened very well. Then he's just winding up the wires carefully and making it a bit more compact so it fits in the outside box, and making sure that everything is contained well in there. Then it's time to put the top back on with the rope. We're not going to secure it too tightly quite yet, because we want to make sure that the battery is operating and working okay. So we're just going to kind of lightly tie it and then go check that out to make sure it's working.
So after we put our battery in the front, we will have to reconnect the battery disconnect. which we did as part of our winterizing process. We did that, but we can put the key back in, and there we go. So now the battery should be turned on. So let's test it, even just with something simple. All right, battery is working. Let's see if we can see, yeah, we can see voltage here. Battery says full battery, that's great. If we want to check our tanks, empty, 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 everything's empty. Turn the water pump on, but let's not do that yet since we don't actually have water in the tank to pump. So that would kind of not be a good thing to actually leave on, but now we're ready for the next part of the process, which will be putting some fresh water in the tank so then we can flush out the lines. And before you start filling your tank, you want to make sure the low point for the water is turned off. When it's like that, that way, parallel with the lines, it is open. When it's perpendicular like this, you can be sure that they're closed that way. So both the cold water line and the hot water line are closed.
So because we are at the storage facility, we don't have access to a hose. So this is like not the most ideal way to fill your water tank. This is just what we had in the scenario we were in. But Dylan here is just filling the water tank, and we don't need it to be full all the way. It's just basically to flush out the antifreeze. So we just need to put enough in there to flush everything out, which ends up being a few gallons or so is helpful to have in there for sure.
All right, next, we want to make sure that the line that is connecting the fresh water to the pump is set to the correct position. When I winterized it, we turned that line off, and there was an extra tube that came out, and we used that to pump antifreeze into all the lines. I can't remember if I turn it back to the open position or if it's still closed. But at least in our trailer, you have to take the screws out of this panel below the sink, and that's where it'll be, and we can check that. Is it useful tool here? There we go. So in here, we can see this line that I'm holding here runs, that's the freshwater tank down there. It runs up here through, then this is our kind of our, I don't know the official word for it, but our junction here that then it's going to flow into that's the water pump. So we can see the line, this position here is open, so water can flow through the freshwater tank to the pump. And then this is what I used to fill the lines with antifreeze in the winter, and then that is in the off position. So that is good. That's exactly what we were looking for. And we're ready to turn the pump on now and start running water through the lines. And one more note is we will want to keep this open and keep an eye on things as we run water through the lines to make sure no water is leaking anywhere here, just to make sure nothing, there's no leaks or cracks in any of the lines over the winter. All right, so now we want to do the hot and cold water in all the lines. We have an instant hot water heater, but if you don't have that, you would want to make sure before using your hot water, you'd want to make sure that, I think there's like a rod you have to put back in there and fill the hot water tank first with water, fresh water, of course, and let that heat up. But we have an instant hot water heater, so there's not a lot of maintenance we have to do for winterizing that. But we'll want to run it until all the antifreeze is out of the lines. So the water pump's on. You can see the antifreeze here. Just enough to get it to be clear. This is the cold water. That looks pretty good to me. Hot water. You can see now the hot water is kicking in, heating up. Got a bit of a longer distance to travel. All right, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, when we get to the campsite, we can make sure we flush the lines even more, but I'm just trying to get the majority of it just out of the way so we don't have to worry about it. Next, we'll go into the bathroom, flush the lines in here, do the cold water. How beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Okay. Do toilet. There we go. Got to do the shower. Remember with the shower to do both here and the shower head. So let's do the lower one first. That was pretty quick. It's close to the sink, so not a lot of line there. All right, that one's good. Next, we'll do this one through the line here. You could see the antifreeze go through the line there. Yeah. I guess the hot water and cold water doesn't matter for that one because hot and cold came through the line. We cleared it. We really only had to clear the shower head line one time. Might just use a little bit more water here to try to clean up a little bit. There we go. And we can do more of a cleanup job later. Something that's easy to forget is the outdoor shower, which we don't use too often, but it's available. We want to make sure we clear both lines, the cold. There we go. And hot. And with the hot water, as you probably saw there, it looked fine at the start because that was still cold water coming out up until the hot water kicks in, the hot water heater, and that goes through. So you want to just run it for a few extra seconds and make sure you see the pink come out of there. And then we can tuck this back in. One thing I forgot to mention is that you want to make sure your hot water heater is on. Looks like I forgot to actually turn it off from here over the winter, but the battery disconnect was on, so no power was going to it. But you want to make sure that's turned on before clearing out the antifreeze from your lines. So we're going to put this back. This is just a very thin piece of wood, so you want to make sure to be very gentle with it. Don't use the power tools.
So now that we got all the boring stuff done, I'm going to do the fun stuff and add some of my clothes that I like to keep in the camper for the season. I love having our camper be pretty much ready to go whenever we want to go. So that's why I like keeping clothes in there so we don't really have to do a lot of packing each time we want to go out somewhere. So you can see I have these buckets and I just got these from the dollar store. You don't have to get anything fancy, just something that'll fit in the storage space you have available within your camper or RV. So I usually bring just some like essentials into the camper just to keep them all season long. I have some tennis shoes, I have some shorts, sweats. I also have some hangy things that I'm gonna put over here. Just some sweatshirts, some shirts, things like that. So I really enjoy getting things packed away. And I use different hangers for our camping stuff, just so that way as I use up clothes, I can take the hangers back with me, refill them with clothes to bring back, and it's a really great system. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
And our next step, if we had more fresh water in the tank, would be to treat our tanks with happy campers. You want to have quite a little bit of water in the tanks already, though, the gray and the black tank, so this can mix with it well first. Because of that, we're going to wait until we get to the campground to put this in.
Thanks for de-winterizing with us. We're excited for our adventures ahead.